Hey everybody, welcome back
Hello.
to Pixel Junkies. It's another F1 video.
Sure about
Good
that?
God, right? Enough of these F1 videos. We're in Great Britain this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's illustrated here by this awesome map that I
wonder
made
who did
entirely
that.
by myself.
No, I
But
don't know about
I
that.
figured out that you can actually import photos in Google Earth, so I just took a photo over the incredibly outdated version of Silverstone and put it over this one. Even though the map on Google Earth said it was a 2015 image, it was bullshit because it was absolutely not the right version of the track. It was changed in 2013, and now it has where the DRS detection zone 1 is an entirely new complex of corners. And fun track, very fast track. And so we're on the medium and hard compound tires this weekend, or this race. Me and Dave starting on the front row. The Red Bulls starting on the second row.
Well, not on 16th.
Yeah, and a few cars down towards the back of the hill actually starting on the hard tire, so they're looking to probably focus on a one-stop here for this race.
Rushes and Caterhams.
Yeah. And these are the championship standings after the race in Austria, which ended quite abruptly. Dave catching up to me. I'm still on 168 points. Because I finished 15th, Dave finished 4th on that outing, so he's closing the gap a little bit. Vettel closing the gap as well, and Ricciardo 10 points behind. And again, Pastor Maldonado, the first non-points result after 8 races. So, haha.
Oh well.
And Constructors' Championship standings. And yeah, Mercedes starting to pull away. But still, I think it was a 100-point gap last time, wasn't it? Now it's not 100 points, so I guess they're closing that gap a little bit, which is interesting. Yeah, so we'll move on now to the race, or the pre-race, the car setups.
And
I made a few adjustments. To how I edit the videos.
What do you mean?
With this race. Well, I added a few new features sort of to mimic the style. You'll see those throughout the video.
Oh, okay.
They're pretty interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So 2-stop race for me. Dave hadn't started recording yet, so don't know what strategy he's on.
I never realized I didn't start recording till later.
Yeah, because I said, "Are you recording?" and you were like, "Oh yeah." So I'm glad I said it when I did, because you would have been like halfway through the race and be like, and I'm like, what?
Hey,
like,
it could be like the Minecraft video where I can record it all.
Yeah, well, you could have at least participated, because even though you didn't record, you didn't participate, so you were fundamentally not even in that video. So
Nope.
Anyway, getting down to the race now. 2 Mercedes on the front row of the grid. Here we go. Race about to start.
And go. Nope. Okay.
Lights out, away we go, as Ben Edwards and Jackie, what's his name, the guy from the BBC would have said. Ricardo, Vettel coming up the inside of Dave there.
Oh, and I took it
the
back.
outside.
Oh.
And I'm going a little wide. Dave getting the inside line, but and he's on for the racing line into turn 4 here, which is called the loop, down into turn 5.
On the outside.
Bit of a hairpin, pushing, running them wide. I'm onto the line down in for the Wellington Straight here.
Very close.
Overpass, yeah, very close
Look
racing.
at the gap already. From third.
Incredibly close. And I'm pushing Dave out, so Dave's
a little lag.
pushing Dave off the racing line, so he's forced to run to the outside. I have the racing line into Brooklands, through Luffield now, turn 7. Coming out and building a little bit of a gap, but I mean, what is this? 1500ths of a second. Down onto the old pit straight.
Oh.
Through Cobb's Corner. Dave, all right, internet hitting lag thing going on there. I'm pushed to the outside. Dave, looks like you're sandbagging a bit, because I didn't think you want to take the blame for that incident. Through maggots now.
Oh.
A little bit of lag
car
there.
hopping.
And getting the line wrong through 12 and 13. So Dave, let's have a look at that. We got a replay on this incident. Cool. Hell yeah! So Dave, coming down, looking for a gap that was
even touch.
That gap was not going to stay as wide as that. I was just taking the regular racing line there, and got shunted from the side. So I think you were in the wrong there, but I think that we'll just classify that as a racing incident.
Either way, I
Back on
didn't
board with me.
take advantage of it.
Yeah. You're a bit aggressive.
A little bit.
But not, you know, sometimes that pays off, sometimes you lose your front wing, so.
Yeah, and this time I didn't lose my front wing, so I guess it worked out okay.
Yep. A gap almost a second now, so I guess that was a little bit too much sandbagging through that corner.
A little bit.
Or if you just lost your confidence throughout the rest of the lap.
Well, that left turn was a little slow there too.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you think about the race?
The short shifting down the straight area. Yeah, so again, today is Sunday, and so it's race day, Grand Prix in Malaysia, even though this video is coming out on Thursday. But yeah, definitely.
Good race by Ferrari.
Yeah, it was definitely a change of pace, change of setting, and like the previous season, 2014, entirely dominated by. Oh, we got team radio.
Huh.
All right, so he's just telling us that it's going to be a dry race. So yeah, I added team radio features as well.
Cool.
Yeah. That little animation. That fucking little animation. So yeah, it was fun seeing a different team, really come into its own. Most of the times, Red Bull beat Mercedes on 3 occasions last season, but for the most part, it looked like, they sort of fluked into it. They had the right strategy. They just were in the right place at the right time, basically, and locked into beating Mercedes when Mercedes ended up having some technical failures. It wasn't like they dominated the race.
No, but it was also because of the strategy, the tire management, and
which is why Ferrari, they really looked strong. Like they beat them on outright pace. Like they were faster in a straight line, and the only thing, like I think Mercedes could have beaten Ferrari. They had a colossal error in judgment on their pit strategy. They ended up going for the harder compound tire multiple times, but I found out after that it was because they wasted all of their softer tires, the medium compound, in practice. So it's like, in the first session of qualifying, it's just like, why? Like you could have just saved your tires. Like they're out on the harder compound tire. And because it was so hot, they degraded just as fast as the medium compound tire. So they didn't give you any benefit. They actually took away performance because, they run slower and they melted just as quick. So it seemed really odd to me. I think if they had similar strategies there, they could have been more on par with Ferrari.
Yeah, and of course Maldonado didn't finish, and you like his puncture at the beginning of the race.
Yeah. Again, first lap, getting a puncture from, I think it was one of the Williams cars.
Yeah.
Again, not his fault, obviously,
No, but not finishing the race again.
Well, he is number 13, so he's had bad.
I don't think that has anything to do with this.
I think Ben Edwards said he hasn't, in 5 race starts, in the last 5 race starts, he hasn't finished.
Nope.
So, some shit luck with that number 13.
I don't think it's number 13.
Yeah. Anyway, team radio.
We need you to be resting in the zone 1 minute 39 range to have any chance of catching the car ahead.
One of the crew chiefs there just telling Dave he needs to be lapping in the low 1 minute 39s. And I was just about to say I'm not. The reason I didn't want to do the team radio thing in the first place is because most of the time he tells you useless shit. I've decided to just highlight, with the team radio animation thing, just highlight useful information that he says, which is not very often, but every now and then we'll get a team radio thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes where he's helpful, but most of the times he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, your thoughts on the race? I rambled enough.
Oh, like I said before, it was a good race by Ferrari. I was not expecting that, put it that way. All in all, though, it was pretty close racing.
Yeah, I found it exciting. I'm glad. I'm looking forward to Mercedes versus Ferrari this year. I think it's going to be fun.
I think Ferrari has improved a lot since last year.
Oh
so
yeah,
that's
for
good.
sure. Yep.
Glad to see Ferrari's back in the game. So, this whole season shall be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah, they've been off the pace for a long time, so
yeah,
it's good to see them come back in form.
I know this has nothing to do with it, but I guess they're more focused on making their super duper little Ferrari thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like it's been, you know, it's like a known fact that when Ferrari was successful in F1, their road cars were horrible. Like when you look back at the Schumacher dominance era, like the cars they were making at the time.
430.
I mean, the only good car they made in that period of time was the Modena.
Yeah.
And you know,
Well,
well,
no.
355 predates that.
Yeah, but that's why I stopped myself.
Yeah, but you know, anyway, you know, a lot of them were kind of runts.
Well, the 550 Maranello was okay. I mean, there's nothing
No, it
special
wasn't.
about it.
You like the car personally. It was not a good car.
I'm not saying something. There's nothing spectacular about the car. I'd be like, oh, that screams Ferrari, but it's a nice car.
Yeah, but this
That's
return of
Ferrari's
form,
thing.
this return of form with Ferrari has me worried now that the 488 GTB is going to be an absolute turd. It's like, oh, Ferrari's good in F1 now. Their 488 must be a piece of shit.
I think it's pretty much gonna be exactly the same as a 458. It just looks different.
Yeah, I hope they can. You know, it seems like they used to be spinning too many plates at once, and
Well, then they
hopefully,
recently acquired. Well, I don't know how recently, but they acquired Chrysler, so.
Ferrari did or Fiat did?
Fiat did, but Fiat being the main company. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Ferrari doesn't have anything to do with that.
No, but Fiat's the one who owns them, so.
I guess Fiat's making GM put out all the shit cars. It's a 138.9 by me, so that's definitely low in 1 minute 39s for Dave.
I'm keeping steady.
And, it's a
times.
5.9 second gap almost.
Gaps up, yeah. Almost 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, a little slow through there.
I think it was a bit of a lockup. Heard one of the tires squealing.
Oh.
Dave's on a 139.7
6.
almost. Yeah, 6.47.
Yeah.
So, a little slower on the pace, especially, you know, that's your best lap. You're still almost 8/10 off. That's 2/10 off the pace
wide.
there, yeah.
Worked out,
3/10 and breaking it a little late through Brooklyn's. It's an interesting apex. Down through Woodcut. Onto the old pitch straight. And I'm now just coming out of Cops. Going into Maggots and Beckett's. Turn 10, turn 11, turn 12 where you start putting on the brakes, and then turn 13 you can kind of coast through, and then now through Chapel onto the Hanger Straight. Dave just coming through 13 as well now. Very fast track. I love a lot of these corners. They've sort of phased out a lot of the types of corners on this track in newer racetracks, and by that I mean corners that were ultimately, when taken from the right angle or the right racing line, flat out. Like, you know, it was a corner, you're going around a bend, but you're, you know, foot to the floor.
Yeah.
And a lot of Herman Tilker, the track designer for F1 these days, a lot of his tracks have really long straights, and then at the end there's a hairpin. So it's fundamentally you just haul ass and then you stop. So they're not as dangerous, I guess would be the term. So I guess you have Silverstone and places like Austria, places.
So, off subject a little bit. What do you think of the comparison between the old Silverstone and this Silverstone?
I mean, the corners they got rid of weren't particularly, you know, amazing. I'm a fan of this.
Okay.
So I like this track. I like the.
Oh, I'm not saying I don't. I just want to see what your opinion was versus the two styles.
Yeah, I mean, I like this one. I mean, the first corner on the new layout, this right here, like I've said a couple times, was the old pitch straight. So we're going down into what used to be turn 1, which was a tighter corner, and usually led to, you know, accidents, especially down through Maggots and Beckett's here, which are flat out corners. The first 2, 3 if you're brave, are flat out, and then this one here is you're on the throttle. And so I guess we'll talk through the differences if we can stay on board long enough. This corner here is coming up to the back of the old circuit, and on the new circuit which we're on, used to be the old one. So this corner is ultimately unchanged.
Yeah.
As well as going into here, but now team radio. Okay, so I'm pitting this lap. this corner up here is a bit where it changed. Where I'm turning right, it used to actually turn left and go under a bridge and down a hill. And we'll actually see where we connected to the old track. So the section I'm on now is the new bit, and the new bit ends right
now.
Here. This straight used to be is part of the old circuit as well. And where we would have turned left previously, we would be meeting up with right now. You can see on the left there, it used to be part of the old circuit. So they basically just added another straight to the Grand Prix circuit and a very high-speed right-hander. So I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's fun circuit. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. It's a very fun track, very fast track.
Yeah. Took Turn 10 a while to update it in Forza, which was annoying. Like
yeah.
the year after they changed the track, I think it was 2013. And they came out with 2012, I think it might have been. They came out with Forza 4 or 3. They must have changed it the same year then. The year of, or I know it was after the game came out afterwards. After they changed it, and it was still the old Silverstone, and I was a bit peeved by that, but I don't know. All right, so I'm in, and this track has an interesting situation where going into the pit lane is actually faster than going around those last 3 corners.
Yeah.
So you'll see my best lap shoot up. I don't know if it'll appear on Dave's screen or my screen. Yeah, 137.6. So I beat my lap by a second and a bit. Team radio. Alright, so Dave's pitting in now as well this lap. And unless you're pitting on a good lap, you're probably not. That lap probably isn't going to be beat anytime soon.
Probably not.
Yeah, I'm coming out of the pits here now. Going into turn 3, village, or village. I don't know how you pronounce it. I guess it's just village.
Yeah.
Yeah, so have you... I think I've seen you, or the Fast and Furious Horizon DLC, or standalone. I think I've seen some of your times on there, so I'm assuming you played it?
Yeah, I played it.
What do you think about that?
Well,
the laugh is promising.
It's very short, let's put it that way. I played for about maybe 45 minutes and I'm already a quarter of the way done.
A quarter? I played it for about maybe an hour and I'm pretty well done it.
Oh, well, I was screwing around with the cars anyway. I was driving the Charger around the map and I was kind of going around up to the boards. It doesn't change the fact that it's still very short. And if you did not get it for free, you don't even bother paying for it.
I really look at it as like this is a demo in the theme of Fast and the Furious for Horizon. It's just a demo. Like it doesn't have the whole map in it.
No, it only's got Nice Messina and the airport bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, what they should have done was they should have added those cars into the regular Horizon 2. Because I can't see myself playing a game just to play some of those cars.
No. I'm glad they didn't. Because
the only cars that I wanted
the story that they have in that ruins Horizon.
Well, no. What I meant was they should have made an update for Horizon 2 where they just put the cars in, not the commentary from.
Yeah, still, it's like you're putting. Like they're mixing up the universes a little bit. When you add those cars from the Fast and Furious universe, it still, I don't know, it just taints it.
Well,
like don't put that shit in
my game. Put it this way. The only cars
put
that
the
I wanted,
stock cars in it that aren't in the game already.
And the
yeah, okay, that's fine. But don't
Charger.
put the Challenger with the big ass wing and ram bar on it.
Oh yeah, no, don't need. Oh well, they should put the regular Challenger in there. I'm surprised they had it.
Regular, yes.
But
yeah. So what do you think about it? Like,
meh.
I like it for a couple of reasons.
It's not bad. Meh.
One, it's the easiest 1,000 points. Yes, it has a 1,000 gamer score. Since Dave taking an interesting line there, it has the easiest gamer score since Avatar: The Last Airbender. All you gotta do is play through it. There's no collectible achievements. There's no online achievements. There's no like do everything achievement. Basically, just do like 10 races and
you finish the game,
get a combo skill chain, and that's easy as hell to do. I did it like.
I think
2
one
minutes.
of them too is like reaching a certain speed in one of the cars or something.
Is it?
I think 'cause I was just driving the Supra and I was gonna just get random achievement and just like, okay.
No, I think that's there's a lot of like get 5 drift medals, get 5 drafting medals, and you literally get all of those just by playing it. So that's Dave's pit stop, not held up by anybody. 3.7 seconds, and there's me going by the pit exit, by the right there.
But
so
I do have to say though, as much as I don't really like the car, the Charger, the one with the big ass blower sticking out of it, was actually pretty fun to drive.
Yeah, it's probably I have about 5 or 6 cars in it, and it's still the best car to drive.
Yep.
They're all horrible, apart from the Nissan GTR. That one's unrealistically grippy and quick, but still kind of fun. And Ludacris, stop voice acting. You're horrible at it.
He pretty much just says exactly what Ben said. That's all he says.
Basically, but he's horrible at it. He's like, yeah, that is what I'm talking about. This is the new Nissan. What is it? GTR. It goes very fast. You should get that car. Line for me, and then we can do something else with it. It's kind of interesting in the sense that the DLC or this, I guess, the standalone game is sort of like a prequel to the 7th movie.
Yeah.
But it's still stupid because it like convolutes the whole freaking story. But anyway, whatever.
I just don't like how there's like absolutely nothing to do with the movie and that entire thing, pretty much. Like, oh, we race this car. Oh, go find this car. Oh, go find this car in a barn. Oh, race a helicopter. It's like,
I mean, well,
okay.
that is car games.
Yeah, but I mean.
Yeah, Dave's on the hard compound. I just noticed it.
Mm-hmm.
Late to noticing. So Dave's obviously on a different strategy. He's getting the hard compound out of the way. And much like the race in Malaysia today, the hard compound and the medium compound conflicting. So we'll see which strategy works out better here. Dave trying to get his hard compound out of the way, I guess, so he can go back on to the soft.
Yep.
As you need to run both compounds. I should probably highlight that aspect. In a dry race, you need to run both available compounds of tire at least once.
I'm pretty sure you say this every time we do record.
Yeah, well, you know, man, everybody might not be watching these videos in order, and maybe this is the first one they've seen. You know, they're gonna assume they've taken a super wide line there through 4. But yeah, you know, they might not watch all these videos, or they might forget. Maybe they haven't watched it in a while. Maybe they don't give a fuck about Formula 1, and they're just, you know, like, why you're saying words, but you're not speaking English, type deal. So, you know. And this section right here is one of the most terrifying, even though it's a game, is one of the most terrifying in the entire F1 calendar.
Yep.
Simply because it's just so quick, and you need to have the precise entry point, the precise braking point, and the precise line in order for all those elements to cross over perfectly. If one of them is askew, then you're probably going off, like Dave is here. And if you don't have the right line, then you don't have the right line or the right entry point for the next corner. And because there's, you know, about 5 corners in succession here, it becomes really crucial that the first one doesn't sort of extrapolate further and further down the track, that, you know, you're not even on it anymore when you get to the end. Still wide through there, but you got some grass on your tires. Yeah. Fun track though. I love this place.
Yeah.
Really glad that DLC is free though. Don't pay $10 for it. Get it while it's free now.
Yeah.
It's free for like 6 months or something.
You don't even need to own Forza of any kind.
Yeah, it's standalone. If you're interested in a car game and you're not sure about buying Horizon 2, try out the Fast and the Furious standalone, because it's sort of a good idea what Horizon is. Just ignore Ludacris and the stupid cars.
Yeah, only pay attention to the regular road cars. Are the closest thing he'll come to Forza Horizon 2.
Yep. And arguably not arguably, is definitely the best Fast and Furious game, or game with Fast and Furious written on it ever made. So
an actual Fast and Furious game is garbage.
Yeah, it's an actual car game. So
the Fast and Furious and cars.
What?
So the only difference is it has Ludacris and Fast and Furious cars. Yeah.
No hilarious mocap either. So like Vin Diesel or Paul Walker don't show up.
Show up and start beating off at each other.
Well, they're just friggin' like, they have that stupid ass like rubber lip thing going on. We're like, and it's like you can tell it's not them. They just spent like 5 minutes making this asshole on you know, in a shitty mocap, 3D whatever. Yeah, really stupid. So last race we talked about an F1 2015 leak, and since then, a few days ago for us, probably about a week ago for you, they announced F1 2015 officially. Still no trailer or video or anything. They just basically announced that yes, they're making it, which was a surprise to nobody. And but we have screenshots, which is awesome, and they have sort of talked about some of the features. And just to go through a couple of those, we mentioned it on the podcast earlier in the week, but I didn't really go into the details. For consoles, it will have Kinect support, and that means you'll be able to talk to your race engineer, which I don't know if we've talked about that on previous videos, but I've mentioned it today a number of occasions. Why can't you talk to your crew chief and ask him, like, what's the weather going to be, or how are my tires, or how are other people doing, where's my teammate, that kind of thing. Well, now you can do all that. Yeah, now you can do that, and I'm assuming for PC and non-Kinect users it will be a button prompt. You'll be able to use the D-pad, I guess, and there'll be a couple of like set questions like what's the weather, blah blah blah, sort of how it is now.
Either way, it's a huge asset.
Yeah, they're adding pre-race grid activities or whatever, pre-race grid things, which I guess means a parade lap. There'll be a parade lap now.
Sweet.
Or they might have, like, you might have your team like out sitting next to the car on the grid like they do in real life. And they're also going to have podium ceremonies now.
More uses of the safety car?
Well, maybe. I guess that's to be decided. They've said it, you know, when they introduced it that it was useful, but I mean, I've only seen it like 2 or 3 times, so.
Yeah, one of them being the very first race. What was it, 2013?
2012, 14? I think it was. First one with co-op, yeah. Very first race we did in co-op. Kobayashi spun off into the wall, and yeah, safety car. So that was interesting. I think the problem with the safety car in these games is a lot of them need to be triggered by the player. Like, there's rarely any AI on AI incidents, and most of them need to be either player caused or the player. So it's a shitty setup the way they have it, but hopefully they can fix that. Brand new engine. Like I said, podium
Looks
ceremonies. Good. So I guess that means they're going to model the entire face of the drivers this time, which probably
won't count. All the generic faces for all the dudes.
Well, the player characters might still be a bit generic, but maybe because now you can see the full face, you might be able to customize it. I don't know, or pick like a preset face. So hopefully you can do something like that. Coming through Maggots and Beckett's again, or lap 15. Looking to pit on lap 16, so that'd be 8 and 8 for the option tire. And then I guess that would be about, well, it would be 10, 11 laps to the end of the race, so I'll probably be going one more stop onto the hard tire, and meanwhile Dave's going to be going to lap 19 and switching back to the softer or medium tires. Still, so I guess you improved, obviously. You have a 1:39.243 on your hard tire.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much about what your best lap was at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, so matching sort of race pace, but definitely dropped down a bit. I guess it was, I had assumed when we were doing this that you had ran into some incident. I recall you swearing a couple of times, like, ah, fuck, or god damn it.
Bad lines.
Or something. I assumed you were like colliding with Vettel or Ricardo or something.
No, maybe more just bad lines.
Yeah, possible, yeah. So I'm in for a pit now. We have an update here, so see the gap here. Dave, 2.5 seconds slower, lap 12, and a little slower through the rest of them, but gaining 0.3 on lap 14, and then losing most of that on the next lap. But you can see the lap times there, 140. Remaining consistent, about a second off on lap 15. And that there was also another one of the new additions to how I edit these races. I'm just trying to feed as much information that the game doesn't already feed you through the visuals to try and match how it's done on TV.
Make it simulate an actual race.
Bianchi not knowing which way to go there. Yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of editing, but I like oh, we're team radio. Yeah, he's telling me to come in again, so I'm pitting in this lap. But yeah, I like keeping it as uniform as possible. Keeps it interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. I like nice little touch to it.
Yeah. This is definitely the most complex video that I edit on this channel for Pixel Junkies.
Looks nice though.
3.7 hard tires going on.
Me coming around, probably gonna go to the pit next lap.
Through 18, known as Club Corner. Part of a corner that used to exist. Dave making sure he's going on to options next lap. A little wide through the exit there.
Nope.
And there's Dave going by just on the outside. Dave taking the reins of first place for a little while, at least, because he'll be pitting next lap, so any space he can gain now will be icing on the gap that I can pull on him afterwards, but of course I get DRS on being in the 1 second range, so it's going to be difficult for him to pull out any sort of gap here. Dave entering the corner at the right angle and then pulling out and change. I don't know, weird situation going on there. 4/10 between us. Coming out of left field into woodcut, turn 8. Very quick corner down into a tricky corner, which is sort of it's not flat out, but you don't need to lift much. So sort of trying to gauge how little can you lift through Maggots and Beckett's. Dave getting the wrong line through the entrance of Beckett's.
Very wrong line.
And you can see now what I was talking about earlier, when you get the wrong line, you lose so much space, you lose so much time. And the concertina effect definitely showing just how...
and I think you're going to take it here at this turn.
Yeah, inside line, not much Dave can do about it there. But sort of off for not. Dave's going to dart off to the right here into the pits. Flat out to the line, limiter on. And I'm coming out down through 17 into club corner.
And there you go.
Boom. That's a lap done. Dave's in. See how his stop goes. Medium tire going on. 3.7. That generic 3.7 as usual. Car doing some weird rocking animation when he came out. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, I got a road balance issue.
So what's your strategy now at this point? Did you presume that the race had been lost at this point, or are you going to...
I think I was going balls out.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I don't think I had rich mixture, but I was trying to get the best laps that I could.
Yeah. A little contact with Kobayashi. Oh, Ericsson there.
Ericsson.
Running up in last. So you got DRS off him at least. You got 9 laps left, and so you think you can close that? What is it? Roughly now, almost 18-second gap.
Well, what now?
I mean, the confidence is definitely in your favor. You're running on the faster tire. You definitely, well, it's inside the window. I guess 8-9 laps on this set of tires is pushing it.
Exactly 16 seconds behind you.
Yep. So you're thinking that you can do it, or is that not even?
I can knock off a good amount of time. Yes, I don't think I'd be able to catch up to you in terms of being on you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be able to get a good chunk of time.
Just going for as much as you can grab, then.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seeing exactly what these tires can do.
It's definitely possible to pull out a victory here, but
it's
a long way back. But you can already see I'm running, 2 and a bit seconds slower than my best lap on these tires. So 2 seconds a lap. That's definitely closable by the end of this Grand Prix. Let's see where Dave lands. He's on his pit lap, so it's not necessarily a good benchmark. But that ended up being about an 18.5 second deficit.
Yeah, you gained some time off of you, though. It was 17 seconds behind you. I'm down to 16.8.
Yeah, so it was, that was, what was it, 17.6?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a second there on that lap. So it's going to need to be more than that if you want to close up. Kobayashi now. Oh! Contact. Kobayashi spun. No, okay, he regained it.
He just slammed on his brake.
Lost a bit of your wing. Yeah, it looked like you didn't really know where to go there. Or if he was trying to pull to the inside to let you go. Let's have another look at it. Dave coming up, looking for the inside line, but Kobayashi parking on the apex. and Dave hitting him. Nowhere else he could go there.
I tried to avoid, but not enough turning radius.
I mean, you know, as the contactee, I guess he sort of tried to get out of your way, but I guess you can blame it on shitty AI. Just parking on the apex.
Yeah, like he didn't really even bother trying to move. He just like, oh look, car.
Yeah. Well, I think he. This is kind of hard to tell from the replay, but I think he was trying to not go around the corner. He was sort of on the fence. Should I go around the corner or should I wait? And then he just, amidst hitting the pedal to go around the corner, he decided to wait, and then ended up just parking right on the corner. Entirely on the racing line, which would have been his fault completely.
Yep. So, I don't think I ever go back to the pit to fix that.
Should have been a penalty applied for that. No, definitely not. Definitely a pit at this point would be suicide. You add another 20 seconds to your already seemingly insurmountable gap. See what it is here. You cross the line. Back up to 17.8. So that incident with Kobayashi cost you, had whatever time you had gained, over a second, more than likely at this point, probably 2 seconds. And you can't see me anywhere there on the next 3 corners, so you can see how big the gap is. 17 seconds behind. So we got about the same gap front and back. It's me coming up on a back marker of Vern, who takes the racing line like an asshole. I have to go around him. 10th through that sector there for you. And you got about, so you got 7 laps to go, so 6.5 at this part of the track. Into Beckett's, and now Stowe corner onto the Hangar Straight, under the bridge, which is the speed trap. So let's see just before the braking zone how fast we're going. 300 kilometers an hour, 305.
309.
308 kilometers an hour. Yeah, quick track.
Let's see what my time is.
And now, wait for Dave to come through that sector. 17.3, so you gain about a half a second so far on this lap. But that's not going to be enough over the next 6 laps.
No, definitely not. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, looking lost now. But who knows?
Might get down to what, 14? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, we'll see. I mean, you know, we'll see how these tires hold on. You know, you don't know really how hard I'm pushing. I'm pretty sure at this point I was pushing pretty hard to maintain that gap. And the harder tires are not really meant for that temperature. So, you know, once that compound starts to wear, they just become, you know, greased cookie sheets. Sticks of butter, you know, they're not. You're basically just driving on like the Kevlar stuff that they cover the belts with. So not much in them once they start to wear. And he's no team radio there, but he just mentioned to me that the rears were looking a little cold.
No.
So what you can do with these tires, they're just, it's sort of like metal at the temperatures that they reach. You can heat them up, and then when they cool down again, they start to temper, and you know, like they harden again, and they become harder than they were. And usually that can sort of, that's when you might hear us or the game refer to them as scrub tires. Is that's what they mean, is that they've been used, but they've been like tempered and hardened. So sometimes that can benefit you, sometimes that can work against you. With this corner, or this track, rather, there's a lot of fast corners, but there's also a lot of slow corners and a lot of long straights. And through those phases, the tires cool down a lot, which sort of causes them to heat and temper throughout the lap. So it can be very difficult on your tires just throughout the course of one lap because of the temperature changes that they go through. Like this long straight down here, the Wellington straight, it's a long straight and the wheels aren't doing anything. Yes, they're getting hot from acceleration, but they're also cooling down from, you know, the air going over the car. So it's sort of hard to gauge. You need a lot of like telemetry data in order to really figure out where the tire is at any given moment.
Oh, 15.2.
Yeah, gap's down 2 seconds and 5 laps left. So if you can close down 3-4 seconds a lap, then it might be possible. But then there's also the not just catching, but also overtaking part to it. Not always as easy. Might take you, 10 laps to catch up to somebody and another 20 to pass them. So, and I'm 0.8 off the pace there. So I'm assuming you're the person setting the pace, Dave, with a 1:19.2 best lap now. And
all right.
Weird. I don't know if the curb pushed me there. Or a lot of dirt. Yeah, you can see. I don't know if the tires are starting to wear. We don't have the gauge up, but there's a lot of tire squeal through that corner. It might have been the braking or acceleration. A little bit of debris on the front left there.
Yeah, front left tire.
Just ran wide through. Even kind of looks like a flat spot. But I guess that's probably just a texture, because I don't think this game has flat spotting.
No, it doesn't. Oh, 13.4.
The next one has it. Yeah, so that was what, 2 seconds just on that lap?
2 seconds.
So clearly my tires aren't working that well, or Dave is picking it up immensely. But I don't think
I don't know what I'm at.
I don't think you are, because your lap time, your best lap hasn't increased. So I may have used my tires too quickly.
I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just hauling ass.
Yeah. Yeah, sort of. When you got a lot of open track like that, you got some back markers ahead of you. But
11.8.
11.8, another 2 seconds almost, just in the first sector. So
I think that's your dot up ahead. On the map.
I think you might have been able to see me there coming through Luffield, but I don't think the dot up ahead is me.
You sure?
That doesn't look like an 11-second gap.
Okay.
But we'll see. Maybe, I don't know. Through these two tight S corners, chicanes that are very quick. But yeah, when you're running in second right now, which is a comfortable position for finishing. Massive gap behind you. Dave's switching up to rich mixture with the extra fuel. Or
10 seconds.
Yep, extra fuel in there. Down to 10 seconds, then a second taking off in the middle sector. But it's comfortable. I mean, I guess it's sort of, it can go both ways in that you can sort of get too relaxed and you start to fall off the pace just because you're bored, for lack of a better term. But it can also sort of keep you driven, because you can see that gap slowly being chipped down. It's down to 10.8 now, or 10.3 rather. We have another graph on the bottom. You can see 2 tenths, 1.1 tenths, or 1.1 seconds, 3 seconds, another 3 seconds, just in the last 2 laps. So that's 7 and a bit seconds, 7.5 seconds almost taken out, just in the last 4 laps. So in 4 laps, Dave could narrow it down that much, and your gap was only 17. So I mean, in the next 2.5 laps,
9
gap's
seconds.
already down to 9.5. Oh, there's me looking for a way past Maldonado, who looked like he was blocking me. I don't know what he was doing there.
Go Maldonado.
Tires filled with grass. Yeah, so I don't know where the hell he was going there. Let's have another look at that incident with Maldonado. Alright, Maldonado on the racing line, moving over to the right to let me by, I guess, not realizing I was already on the right, and forcing me off the track to not collide with the guy. So thanks for that, Maldonado.
Nice job, yeah. Oh.
And Dave also running a little wide onto the grass through Beckett's. And let's see where Dave's speed trap is in miles an hour. Oh, all right, never mind. Around 190, we'll assume. And me coming through the last 2 bends. I got a couple of cars behind me. I don't know if those are stacked up on me or if I just passed them.
Okay.
Oh, running really wide there, losing a significant amount of time. You see 142.7.
Not sure what you did there. You're just kind of just like, oh shit.
And that was Dave running 2 seconds quicker than me through that lap. Partially, I guess, because of Maldonado, partially because of that off.
That and your,
But one of those cars up ahead, there's me. I think I'm the I'm the one on the head.
You're the first one.
So you can see the gap now. Whatever it is, about 8 seconds, just over 8 seconds.
7 or 8 seconds.
We'll see now coming down through the first sector, which is just ahead of Brooklyn's, rather. So 6.6 seconds, so never mind 8. That 2 seconds already ripped off, and whatever Dave gained through that middle sector there. So You know, the adrenaline is a weird thing. Once you get sight of the car that's in front of you, once he's, you know, in just up the road, you can see him going around the bends. Weird things happen. I know for me, it just gives you such a rush of adrenaline to push so hard, like way harder than you ever could have in qualifying or during the race. And you know that you're running out of time, and you're flawless. You're able to go around corners and bends and
adrenaline,
read
man.
their line and know where they're making mistakes and know where to improve on the fly as they're going. Can do miraculous things. And meanwhile, being up front is a little more difficult because typically I think the person behind has, even though, I mean, it sounds stupid because the person in front is obviously winning, the person behind sort of has the upper hand because all the pressure is on the person who's up ahead.
Yes.
But they may not necessarily be feeling the pressure, if that makes any sense, because the person behind is aware of what they're doing and what the person ahead of them is doing. So you can kind of get a much better reading on what's going on rather than being ahead. You sort of just glance in your mirrors every now and then. You don't know where they are. You don't know if they made the corner. The person behind can force you into a mistake because they broke late, or they're looking to cut back on the inside of a corner, and you don't really have much of a choice. So it can get precarious. It looks like Maldonado or one of the Lotuses up ahead.
Yep.
Yeah, Maldonado.
Sure is. Same corner you passed him at.
Yeah, let's see how Maldonado reacts to you. Staying well wide of the corner this time. Dumbass.
And you're next.
And I'm just disappeared around the corner of Cops. Spelled C-O-P-S-E. Tried to say P and S at the same time there. Didn't work out. Eps. So where's the gap down now? Did you see the gap?
I think it was 5 or 6 seconds still.
6. And you can see me up ahead now. This is what I'm talking about.
4 seconds.
But it's final lap,
Well,
doesn't look like it's going to happen at this point, unless I spin off.
But closed a considerable amount of time.
Oh, absolutely. It was 13 seconds.
Yeah.
Yep, and so coming through the last couple of bends here, through Club Corner, across the line, Dave could not catch me in time. Gaining a lot. If you had another lap or two there.
Closed the gap.
Yeah, so here are the results. 4.9 seconds officially behind in the end. So
not bad.
that was about 12 and a bit seconds. Closed up. Vettel finishing third, and Alonso finishing
34
fourth.
seconds.
And further down the
Ericsson
line,
not finishing.
Yeah, Ericsson did something there. I don't know if he crashed or mechanical failure.
Who knows?
The hard one-stop pit strategy didn't work out for the Marussias, obviously. They finished all the way at the bottom. Here's the point standings as they read after the...
Vettel was real close to me.
Yeah, after the British Grand Prix. Vettel's definitely closing up the gap there. Down to, what was it, 7 points or 8 points? And
Maldonado just out of points.
Yeah, still just out of points. He was lapped twice. So, I don't know what was going on there. Or once, or however that worked out. Weird pitting.
Maldonado would expect.
And, so the gap is still around 80, 90 points.
Yep.
Between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Ferrari in third. Really no competition further down. I mean, the two closest teams, you got Williams and McLaren are racing each other. And Scuderia and Sauber are neck and neck. So, yeah, that was the British Grand Prix. And the next one is in Hockenheim, Germany. And so we'll see you next time out for that. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.